In this video, we are going to learn one-line Python scripts. Now, this video is all about the advanced topics, and you can do a heavy computation task just in a single line of code. If you want to get the first, the last element, and the in-between elements of a list, so it can be done so first just create a list, and then you can use three variables, like I'm going to use first, and then star x, and then last, which equals L. And now if I just print these, like if I print the first, I get the first element. If I print the last, I get the last element. If I just want to use the in-between elements, then I can print them out using my star x. So if I just did that, I get the central elements. The next task that we had is unzipping a file. Let's suppose we had a list that has some tuples in it. Let's create the 4 tuples. Like we have these tuples, and now I want to create 2 tuples out of these 4 tuples, in which my first tuple had the element as 1, 2, 3, and 5, and my second tuple have the elements of 2, 3, 4, and 6. So in order to do that, I am going to use a zip function. So all I need to do, I'm declaring a variable unzip, and then I'm going to use a lambda function with, let's say, z, and then I am obtaining a list using a zip on the star of z. So if I just did that, and now if I print my unzip and pass in my element as z, so you can see now we had unzipped our element and created 2 separate tuples from the same list. Now next thing we have here is the Fibonacci series. Now Fibonacci series is the addition of the last 2 elements. So it is going to be like the first element is going to be 0, another is going to be 1. So third element, which is the addition of previous 2, is going to be 1. Now the next element is going to be 2. The next element is going to be 3, and the next element is going to be 5, and it goes on. Now if I want to print the elements of such series, so I can again use a variable Fibonacci, and I am going to use the lambda function again here. So lambda n, and then I am going to write if my n is less than equals to 1, or else it's going for Fibonacci n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. Now if I just press shift and enter, and now I can print any element. Like I want to print out my 10th element, so I need to pass in here 10, and then you can get the value of the 10th place that's going to be in the Fibonacci series. The next thing we have here is calculating a factorial of a number. So a factorial of a number is the multiplication of all the terms from 1 to that number. Let's say if I am talking about a factorial of 5, then it's going to be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So in order to do that, I'm going to use a variable n equals 5, or it could be any variable. So I'm going to use factorial equals, then I'm going to use the reduce function, and then I have my lambda, and I'm going to use 2 elements in it, x and y, and then I provide the expression as x times y, comma, and then I provide here range, which is 1, comma, n plus 1. And in order to use my reduce function, I need to import it first. So I'm going to use from functools import reduce. Oh, functools. Now it has been compiled. So if I just print out my factorial, now let's print out my factorial. You can see it says 120. Now if I change it to 10 and then I execute it, so the 10 factorial is going to be this much. So this is how this factorial is going to work out. Now another thing that we can do is checking a palindrome using a single line of code. So let's say I have a word as Nitin. Now all I need to do, create a variable, and then I can use word.find, and then I need to reverse the word and then adding 1 to it, and then I need to return a Boolean statement out of it. Now if I just did that, and now if I just print P, it says true. And if I change that name to like our previous example, the race car, and if I print P, it says true. So if I just did that, and now if I print it, it's a false. So these are the one-line Python scripts that you can use to efficiently compute out the task.